Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS report that we're recording for you live on the twitch.tv/why not_be_casting. You already know the vibes, and today we're talking about the $25,000 Eunited 4v4 Invitational, and let me tell you, it was absolute lights out. So we're going to break down every matchup from the winners and even down to the losers. And we're going to talk about what made this event so special. And well, let's just hop right into it. Right off the rip, game number one. Shopify Rebellion, led by former Gears of War phenom Mental. We're able to take one game off Optic Gaming. Obviously, Optic winning that matchup. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. But the fact that Rebellion started off with the win, hey, not bad. Not bad indeed. But going into round number two, we're going to hone in on this one just a little bit. Complexity of the favorites going into this matchup. Fnatic, the team that's been searching for answers and haven't been able to figure it out, were able to get a Game 5 win on Complexity. Although Complexity were boot camping, by the way. Even Monster made it out to Texas. They were all boot camping all together in a LAN type of environment, able to swing peak and play side by side. Even that wasn't enough to get the win onto Fnatic, bolstering their new roster. Jazero and Septify, the duo that we expect to see, combining forces with the former Exit duo, Suppressed and Arctic, able to get a huge Game 5 win, and maybe, just maybe, Fnatic starting to figure things out. G1 ended up getting the win over TSS. The Strong survive. Also known as Leftovers. They were going by before. It was Ace, formerly of SSG, Mortally, Super CC, formerly of Fnatic, and then Hush, who has been seen bouncing around a bit, but was known well for his time spent on Torrent for a bit alongside Aperture, able to take G1 to Game 5. And I don't think anybody's surprised that G1 came out with the win. G1 had been running very hot, able to get second place during the last North American Super, which was an online event very similar to this one. High prize pool, lots on the line. G1 got the win, but I think people were surprised that TSS were able to take them to a Game 5. That's pretty big. That's pretty good for TSS leading into Orlando. By the way, coming up this weekend now. We're going to talk a little about the EU teams and how they performed. Obviously, Quadrant having to play through the open bracket. I believe it was Rebellion that got the win onto Quadrant, disqualifying them from making it into this tournament. We had other EU representation already made it to the tournament due to invites, and that's Navi. Navi didn't qualify for the automatic invitation. Navi had to almost steal a spot. G2 decided to back out. G2 were guaranteed a spot, and then they offered this one to Navi, considering they were already in America boot camping, very similar to Ascend, but Navi weren't able to get the win onto Native Red, formerly KCP, by the way. Druk, Talik, Manny, and Solstice, by the way, bringing back Manny from Eunited, did KCP Red 3-0 on Navi. I think that was a lot right there. I think Navi could have won this matchup, at least could have won a game, but sadly they get 3-0'd. Sentinels 3-1 over Forbidden Fruit. I don't think anybody's surprised. I think people might be more surprised that Forbidden Fruit got a win as opposed to Sentinels actually winning out on that matchup. What we were surprised by, even though Navi weren't able to perform up to expectations against Native Red, Eunited, giving them the hardest round one matchup. There was definitely no collusion when it comes to Eunited on their home tournament, because they gave themselves Ascend. And Ascend able to 3-0 Eunited, despite the fact that Eunited just brought its Stipe out, has been an absolute stud on this roster, doing a million times better than what he was looking like on FaZe. We see that Eunited weren't able to get a singular win on the #1 team out of Europe. And let me tell you, I was shocked. Eunited been playing too good. Way too good to get swept by Ascend. So I'm not sure that says more about where Eunited are right now. Maybe they aren't where I thought they were. More about ascending to another level, bringing in Respectful just for this North American talent and looking good with them. Let's find a little bit more. We'll follow Ascend's journey. Cloud9 getting the 3-0 over Native Black. FaZe able to 3-1 SSG. I think that was I think it was a little bit big. We'll talk about SSG a little bit. Obviously bringing in, you know, you obviously bringing that Pittsburgh Knights roster, the #1 team in Latin America. We have high expectations for them. But I mean, they ran into FaZe. You know, hey, nobody. There's no way you should hang your heads low running into FaZe, and this is a double elimination tournament, so SSG should be able to make a run in the elimination bracket, right? 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 We'll find out later. Optic get the 3 over Fnatic. You know, Fnatic started to figure it out, get a big win on a complexity, but Optic on another level. Good luck beating Optic on land, but good luck beating them online. Optic with the 3-0. Native Red 3-2 G1. This right here was a big matchup, and let me tell you why. Because, you know, Native Red, formerly KCP, formerly the ultimate underdogs, able to take on anybody in the HCS scene, no matter who the favorites are. Normally, it's Native Red that are the ones getting talked about as the ultimate underdog team, but G1 stole that title for quite some time. G1 stole the hearts just the same way Native Red did. Then Native Red going right at them and beating them in a game 5. This was huge for Native Red. This was Native Red saying, we're tired of not having respect put on our names. We're tired of people talking about these online tournaments and these scrims as if they're tournaments that matter, because when it mattered most, as of right now, Native Red haven't fallen below top 8, by the way. Even on land, able to reproduce top 6 most of the time. Native Red have been more consistent than G1, even though G1 have had wider swings, including second place again in that North American Super. Native Red are coming back for that title. They got G1 in their scope and ready to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what they did on their way to the winners bracket semifinals. Native Red able to send G1 down to the elimination bracket. Sentinels 3-1 over Ascend, no surprise there. FaZe 3-0 Cloud9, I was surprised. You know, Cloud9 not too long ago were back-to-back LAN champions. The real deal. Renegade hightailed it off of this Cloud9 roster to try to find a new home, not end up working out with Sentinels, and then scrambling and finding himself onto this FaZe roster. And they've had ups and downs. Oh, with Snipedown, they looked abysmal. With King Nick, they looked like the real deal. And they've been slowly starting to figure things out. Meanwhile, Cloud9 are slowly starting to go in the opposite direction. It's not the fact that Cloud9 lost to FaZe. I think a lot of teams are going to lose to FaZe. They're FaZe up. That Cloud9 got dominated. That's where the issue is. You can lose to FaZe. You can't get dominated like that. We'll see if the same thing happens on land, but the same way Cloud9 are a better team on land is the same way that FaZe step it up as well. When you have Spartan screaming at you from across the podium or across the stage, you're telling me you don't tremble in fear of that man with the gluteus maximus of a god? Man, thick as hell. Watch out for Cloud9 on land. Watch out for FaZe no matter what. Optic Gaming 3-1 Native Red. No surprise. Sentinels 3-2 FaZe. Game 5. That was the matchup right there. Let me tell you, that was the matchup. Because we knew FaZe were the real deal, but we talked about it multiple times. If FaZe want to win championships, you got to go through Sentinels. There's no road that FaZe can take in Orlando or Worlds that if they want to win the tournament, at some point in time they don't run into Sentinels. At some point in time they don't run into Optic Gaming. And when it comes to beating Sentinels, if you can't beat them online, there's no chance you could beat them on land. Simple as that. Sadly, Sentinels able to get the win on them 3-2. Sentinels move forward into the winners bracket finals to go up against Optic Gaming. End up getting 4-1. Sentinel sent down to the losers bracket, only one series away from being able to make it back into the grand finals, but it's Optic Gaming that had the advantage. Now we move on to the lower bracket. Complexity 3-2 over Rebellion figuring out. Rebellion looking good. Obviously didn't get a win so far in the tournament, but you took a game off of Optic Gaming. You're one game away from beating out Complexity, who are a stud of a team. Rebellion were not too long ago couldn't make it out of open bracket. Now we're talking about legitimately contending for top 16 and maybe beyond. The Strong survived 3-0ing Na'Vi. Na'Vi having a tough time here. We have high expectations for Na'Vi, and we know how good Na'Vi are on land, but you got to do it online as well. I mean, I'm assuming they're boot camping out here in America. I'm assuming they're already in Florida right now. United 3-1 over Forbidden Fruit. Native Gaming 3-1 over the #1 team in Latin America, SSG Native Black. They're showing they're not just a younger brother to Native Red. They can do it too. SSG, where are you? You're the #1 team in Latin America. You're competing here in this tournament. You got to get a win. You got to get a freaking win. We're too high on SSG right now for them not to get a win in the tournament. Against Native Black, no offense, but Native Black are amazing. But SSG took Sentinels to game 5. You're the #1 team in your region. You win this matchup, people buying skins. You lose it, and now we're asking for refunds. Tabby Munns was scouted by evil geniuses to move to America back in Halo 5 and join the likes of Roy and Lunchbox and Falcated. He was scouted out and brought over to America. This is nothing against Native Black, because we know how good Native Black is, but I'm just saying, if you're the #1 team in your region, you have a responsibility to come out. Look at Ascend 3-0 Eunited. If Ascend are out here 3-0ing Eunited, you have to get a win on Native Black. Cloud9 3-1 over Complexity, no surprise. Ascend 3-0 over TSS. So, North America might call that an upset. We, us that have been paying attention to the EU region, I don't think we're calling it upset. G1 3-0 over Eunited. I think we honed on that one. That's a surprise. I'm not mad at you if you have G1 as the favorites in this matchup. I'm not mad at you. I think Eunited have done enough to be the favorites, but I'm mad that Eunited didn't get a win. It's your own tournament. Scythe has been playing absolutely lights out. YNOT has been playing out, dude. Like the way YNOT plays when he's at his best. Again, take out the consistency. I'm saying when he's at his best, YNOT is a top 5 player in the game. It's actually low key crazy. The fact that he's able to IGL and put up some of the numbers that he does is incredible. The problem is he doesn't consistently do it. United can't get 3-0'd by G1. You just can't. Not in your tournament. Shoot, not ever. Native Game being able to 3-2 Fnatic. After Fnatic were able to get that big win onto Complexity, we thought they might have been able to figure it out, but Native Gaming, back-to-back huge wins, by the way. SSG and Fnatic. Okay, Native Black. I see you. You got to take your wins where you can get them. And Native Black are good, but to get 2 wins here in this tournament where Native couldn't, where Forbidden Fruit couldn't. By the way, I have Forbidden Fruit over Native Gaming. Not anymore. I'm saying big wins for Native Black. Good for them. Cloud9 3-2 over Ascend. I'm not surprised Cloud9 won. I'm surprised Ascend have been looking as good as they are, because the same way that SSG representing their region weren't able to figure it out, Na'Vi weren't able to get a win, Quadrant couldn't even qualify. Ascend coming out and saying that we're on par with the North American talent. You take Cloud9 to a game 5, and even though Cloud9 weren't exactly looking like the back-to-back land champions. They still look like, you know, they're ready for top 6, top 4. They ain't dropping from there. And Ascend looking like they can pull off the upset, but it was Ascend that took them to game 5. Can't quite get the win. Cloud9 go forward. G1 3-0ing Native Black. So G1 get knocked into the elimination bracket by Native Red and say, there ain't no way we losing this. We ain't losing with other Native roster. Like, that didn't happen at 3-0. Cloud9 3-0 over Native Red. But this is not indicative on Native Red. This is a playstyle disaster. This is a nightmare matchup for Native Red. The problem with this matchup is that Cloud9 do what Native Red do, just better. Like Native Red, when you think about Native Red, objective efficiency, constant aggression, being able to up the tempo, putting your opponent on their back foot. That's what Native Red do. Sometimes they get overwhelmed a little bit with their speed, and you can catch them in the slays department. If you're able to stabilize and defend off their offense, their defense isn't the best. Same thing for Cloud9. Except Cloud9 are just stronger. Native Red might be a little bit faster, a tad bit objective efficient, just because they are always hopping on that objective from the moment it hits the map, but Cloud9 are right up there. You know, if you had to rank it with aggression, Cloud9 are 95. Native Red, with aggression, Native Red might be a 96. Objective efficiency, Cloud9, 95. Native Red, 96. But when the slaying comes, Cloud9, 95. Native Red, 90. And that's where that difference comes out. Cloud9 are the same, almost the same blueprint as Native Red. They're just bigger and tougher. Phase 3-0 G1. I'm surprised. G1 I was getting second place in the North American Super. G1, they're good. They had moments of they're not just good, they're great. And they had moments of pure brilliance. They had moments of being, you know, one of the best teams in the league. They showed on scrims. They showed it on the online NA Super. But I think now, take a step back and let's look at G1 and who they really are. And I think, are we guaranteed G1 top 4? Nah. Am I saying for sure that they don't fall below top 8? I am saying that. I think guaranteed top 8, legitimately contending for top 6, and then if they run hot, they could pull off upset to top 4, but they're not guaranteed top 4. Shoot, nobody's guaranteed anything right now. Right now in Halo Infinite, this is the most competitive landscape that we have seen, if not forever. Definitely in a long time. Nothing's guaranteed here. Phase 4-1 on Cloud9. Hey, we get the big. I mean, you beat them out the winners bracket. You beat them out the losers bracket. You run what 7-1 on them. Losers bracket final. Sentinels 4-1 over Phase. I said it before. If you're going for championships, you gotta go through Sentinels. If you can't beat them online, you can't beat them on land. You had 2 chances to do it, Phase. What do you want me to do? Am I being hard on? Why? I'm not being hard on FaZe. When FaZe back in June, when I heard whispers of this roster coming together, I said championship aspirations, God Squad. Like, I called these guys the God Squad. They started off abysmal. It was terrible. They kick sniped out off the roster, bring in King Dick. They start to finally figure it out. But I'm saying you lost so much time lollygagging around, being shit. I'm being hard on you because we're out of time. Orlando's this weekend. Worlds is next weekend. Like, I'm being hard on you because where's the time here? FaZe needs to make a grand finals during one of these tournaments. The roster's too talented not to make a grand finals. Damn it, I would say, and a lot of people have FaZe winning out one of these tournaments. And if you're gonna do it, you gotta go through Sentinels. I'm not being hard. I'm just being realistic. I love FaZe. FaZe up. F's up. When I put the F's in the chat, Nate for fail. It's for FaZe. Sentinels 4-1. Grand Finals. Optic versus Sentinels. Sentinels had a 3-2 lead on Optic Gaming. One game away from being able to send us into a bracket reset. Optic Gaming having to win back-to-back games in order to become your champions. They didn't even see a second bracket. That wasn't a part of it. Optic Gaming become your champions. $25,000 was on the line, and our final major tournament leading into this weekend in Orlando. Optic Gaming, we know what they can do on land. Now the question is, can they online? The question is, can they convert it to land? That's what we're all asking. At this point, Optic Gaming can go 100-0 online at this point, and I don't think any of us will bat an eye. We don't give a damn. Optic Gaming needs to win Orlando. It's do or die. This was the HCS Weekly Report, guys. That was a good one. That was 20 minutes of pure energy, pure passion. Guys, we do this live every day, except for when I'm flying out. Twitch.tv/YNOT_B_casting. Then we play ranked with viewers. If you guys want to get involved, make sure you do it if you're not already. For those of you guys in the chat, shut up. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the last time before we come back from Orlando, because I'll be flying out there. If you guys are there, make sure you come up to me, give your boy a little fist bump, a handshake, a hug, a butt pat, whatever you want to do. Have a good one, guys. Peace. If you're going to talk